Hello friends. I just felt called to make a video about the energies of June. So this is just like a little energy reading for the month for you. And the biggest thing that the light is instructing me to prompt you to ask yourself is, what am I putting my life force into this month? So for me, I have, a collection of chronic illnesses that includes chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME. So I'm kind of always exhausted on some level or another. I have been really exhausted. But everyone I talk to, even people who don't have the same conditions I do, have found themselves really dragging themselves through the days and really feeling so worn out and not necessarily sure why. And I'm getting that part of it is the energies of right now, that everything that is happening planetarily, cosmically, multidimensionally, there's a lot of shifting that's taking place, and that shifting is making us all feel really tired. So if you find yourself feeling really tired, well, it's part of it, so don't fret in a certain sense. And also, ask around, see if your friends are feeling that way too, and your family's feeling that way too, because lately everyone I've spoken to is feeling this really intense sense of fatigue. So one of the things that I've had to learn in all these years of having to deal with really intense fatigue is a level of discernment around, what am I putting my life force into? What am I actually spending my energy on? And I have to be careful because everything costs so much. Everything I choose to do has a cost. And it's, humanly kind of sad to have to think of it that way, because there are all sorts of things that other people are able to do that just happen. They just do things and they don't even think about, what they're going to have to not do later in order to do this thing now. But for me, for the last several years, I've had to really weigh, like, okay, so I'm sitting here with my seedlings, you can see, and they have taken a lot of energy. A lot of my life force the last couple months has gone into growing these seedlings. And now I'm sitting here amongst them and I'm feeling great joy in seeing how alive they are, how much my life force going into the planting and tending and care of these tiny little seeds has grown into these beautiful plants that are going to continue to grow, that we're continuing to put in the ground, and they're going to feed us all summer and into the winter as well. So that is like a really beautiful exchange of energy, that I poured a whole lot of life force into these plants, and they're going to provide me with a whole lot of life force because they're going to grow me food. And also we are having an energy exchange just in being together, because there's the natural way that plants produce more oxygen, and they're beautiful, and that lifts our hearts. And just the gardens are endlessly full of ways in which we can understand energy exchange, aren't they? So whether you garden or not, you're making choices every day about where you're spending your life force and what you're investing your life force in. So as this shifting takes place planetarily, cosmically, and multidimensionally, we are finding ourselves with more intense choices, is what it's saying. There's a sense that we are being pushed, those of us who are feeling called to do work that makes a difference and do work that helps heal ourselves, each other, the planet, that we are being pushed to get it together on a certain level, to really do what we need to do. And that push is going to continue. I mean, I was pushed to do this video today, and we're all going to continue to feel this sense of momentum behind us, behind the things that we are truly deeply on a soul level called to do. And, sometimes that's just like making a phone call to a friend who you love and want to spend a little bit of time with. Or sometimes it's sitting quietly with a book that is really relaxing and joyful for you to read. And sometimes it's doing whatever soul work you're called to do. Sometimes it's making a video or sending out an email or, creating a course to teach people things that they need to know. So whatever it is, notice how you are pushed by that momentum. And, sometimes it feels a little nervy. Like, I have a lot of nerves going on right now around, like, okay, what am I signing up for on a certain level, or what am I committing that life force to, and really weighing, like, okay, here's the best ways and means, here's the best systems involved, here's the best flow that I can find for this life force that is somewhat limited. And I'm getting that for everyone right now. It's somewhat limited, even if you're not normally limited by this need to choose what you spend your energy on. Everyone's feeling it a little bit more and more. And in some ways, the light is saying that's a blessing, because in having to make those choices and having to have that greater and higher level of discernment, we are being called to make those choices that are more in alignment with our soul's purpose. There's like a joy and a gratitude that can be found in having to pay more attention and be more careful and deliberate, and using our autonomy to choose how and where our energy goes out from us and out into the world. So it's saying to just take some time and take some care around how you are choosing to use your life force, and to allow this space in your heart to guide you into those choices, because it's saying your heart knows what you really want to do and what you really need to do and what you're really being called to do. And your mind will tell you all sorts of stories around what you should be doing and what other people are doing and what any number of things that the mind will chatter on about. But your heart is where you can really connect to the flow of light between you and your soul. And you can ask those questions within. What am I meant to spend my life force on right now? And you can start to let the answers unfold. And the other thing I'm always reminded to tell people in almost every reading I do and in every communication I have with myself on a deeper level is to let go of outcomes. So as you ask yourself, what am I really meaning to spend my life force on right now? Let go of any thoughts of what the outcome will be, and just let yourself flow from thing to thing to thing, because when you do, and when you allow yourself to really follow that path that is coming from your heart and is driven by your greater soul's purpose, the ways in which there's a robin just staring at me right now, and I feel like he's really, really affirming this. The ways in which you discover each step as they come are almost miraculous. It's just energy, but it does seem miraculous to us on a human level, because all sorts of things will unfold that you could never have imagined. And that's just in the allowance of being present for each step and following each step as they go, and just letting yourself be on your path, on your own individual spiritual journey that is taking you forward into each next step. So when you allow that space for that discovery, it really opens things up. So I hope that helps, and I'd be interested to hear if anyone feels like sharing how you're feeling these energies, and just be mindful as June continues what you're noticing. It's interesting because June is such a like a dynamic month of planting everything here, and things are growing. And I'm thinking about friends in the southern hemisphere who are getting ready to hibernate, and it really is that turning point. It's June 2nd today as I'm recording this, and it really feels like such a turning point that defines the next few months. It's almost solstice, and things are at a certain peak, either the longest days or the shortest days, wherever you are in the world. So I think that's a really interesting time to be mindful of how we're spending our energy, what we're investing our life force in, how we can use that life force to have and be the changes, the positive changes that we want to be and see in the world. I forget that quote and who I can't attribute it right now because I can't think of it, but be the positive change you want to see in the world. So, I'm borrowing from that, but it's a really good time to take stock in that way, and to allow yourself to be really present for how you change yourself, how you change your world, and how you change the energetic space around you, and the difference that makes. So I hope that helps, and I hope you have a beautiful June, and I'm sending you all lots of love and light.